let's talk about the second form of power sharing. The second form of power sharing is the vertical form of power sharing. In fact, we have an entire chapter 2, Federalism, which is based upon the vertical form of power sharing. But essentially, it is the government at different levels. So in our country, if we speak about, we have three forms of government. One being the central government. Currently, our Prime Minister is Narendra Modi. Then we have the state government. Currently, our Chief Minister is Mr. Uddhav Thackeray. And then we have the municipal corporation at the Pune city level. So in India, depending upon the place where you stay, we have three different forms of government. A national government, followed by a state government, followed by a local government. So these different levels of government are what we call as the vertical form of power sharing. The third is the power shared amongst different communities. So what is the power shared amongst different communities? A good example actually would be the entire Belgian power sharing model, and specifically the community government, where there are representatives from the Belgian community, from the French community, and also from the Dutch community. So it's a beautiful example where all different communities have their say and remain united in the society. The last form is the power shared amongst different pressure groups, political parties, etc. About power shared among different political parties, we've already seen an example, the coalition government of Cbse and BJP back in October 2014. Power shared between different political or between pressure groups. You would remember or maybe you all were too young, but back in 2011, we had a movement led by Anna Hazare, who is a Gandhian from Ralegan Siddhi, a village near Pune. He led a movement for Lokpal to demand a person who checks the corrupt activities of politicians in general. And he fasted first for 3 days at Jantar Mantar, then for 12 days in Ram Leela Maidan in April and August 2011 respectively. Actually, a committee had been made between the then Congress government with representatives of some ministerial representatives and Anna Hazare himself and some members of his then team. So this is an example of power sharing between a pressure group. That movement was so effective and got so much support from middle class Indians then in 2011 who were fed up of corruption that they had a say. Another example of a good pressure group would be back in 2017 or 2018, there was a huge farmers' march from Nasik to Mumbai, barefooted. They demanded more facilities for farmers, including a better minimum support price. We'll come to minimum support price in the agriculture chapter in geography. But generally speaking, what is a minimum support price? It is a price guaranteed to the farmers per crop. A minimum price guaranteed to the farmers per crop, irrespective of the quantity and quality of harvest every agricultural season. And it is a very important component of agriculture because our agriculture is almost entirely dependent on monsoons. Yes, there is irrigation, but only the rich farmers can afford it. The poor farmers can't. And our monsoon is notoriously unpredictable. There has never been a normal monsoon, so to speak. Either there is flooding or droughts. So minimum support price is an important component. And the farmers had walked barefooted for the same. So that is a good example of a power shared between a pressure and the requisite power, the requisite authorities had taken due note of it. So just to summarize, what are the different forms of power sharing? One is the horizontal form of power sharing, or the power shared between different organs of government, executive, legislature and judiciary. Second is the vertical form of power sharing, the power shared by governments at different levels, central government followed by state government followed by the local government. Third is the power shared by between different communities. Example is the community government of Belgium, where there are German, French and Dutch speaking representatives. And finally, power shared amongst pressure groups, between political parties, etc. So we saw an example of the farmers movement, the recent farmers movement for a better MSP. We saw the example of Anna Hazare's fasts in 2011, and we also saw the example of the BJP Shiv Sena coalition government back in 2014. So this was an attempt, guys, to sort of explain the chapter to y'all. We'll let you know what are the activities, homework, or tests related to this. Y'all may have doubts too. So, any doubts on this chapter are more than welcome, and I'll be happy to clear them.